Was gonna make this video yesterday, but as I told you guys, I've been sick. I've been just really sick. But anyway, regarding the Operation Olive Branch thing, I reached out to them after I said that I would the other day after my post, and they got back to me immediately and set up a meeting with their kind of founding members to just answer the questions that I had. And I asked all the questions that were out there. Which, by the way, Paul has since talked to them, but at the time that I reached out to them, no one had. I talked to them for a while. It was well over an hour. It might have been closer to 2, asking them to go over basically all the questions and address everything that they were being accused of. Some of it I know that they're probably going to be posting or talking about more over the next few weeks. But let me just not make this too long, because Paul did a really good video where he's basically answering a lot of the questions too. The same things that I talked to them about. So I'll link Paul's video here. I am not interested in ripping them apart. What I care about is the Palestinian families and the families in Sudan and the families that need help. Now, I'm not saying that people who raise concerns with Operation Olive Branch, that means that they don't care. I know that a lot of people do. But as I said in my original video, there are some motherfuckers out here that are getting way too excited about the drama, and I have no fucking interest in that. That's not to say that, listen, I'm not above a little bit of drama here and there, but not when it comes to this. Not when it comes to Operation Olive Branch and something that is super fucking serious and really life and death for a lot of these people. Is Operation Olive Branch perfect? Absolutely not. They're just an organization of a bunch of people trying to get it right that aren't always going to get it right. So have they made mistakes? Absolutely, but everybody does. It's just everybody wants, what annoys me is that everybody wants them to be so perfect when it's okay, but they're the ones who stepped up. We all were talking about how there needed to be more organizations and more, resources for the people in Palestine. So they're the ones who actually stepped up to do it. And then we all turn around and go, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? Nitpicking them. Now, if the serious allegations about them stealing money were true, that would be a different story. But there really is no evidence for that. I've not seen any evidence that that was the case. And them getting a few dollars here and there on Buy Me a Coffee to give stipends to their volunteers, I'm sorry, you might have a problem with that. I don't have a fucking problem with that. I really don't. As long as they're telling people that this is what the money is for, you want people to work for free? Why you want people to just do all this labor for free? And it's already an incredibly small amount. It's also not a virtue not to be compensated for your labor. People put in hard work, they should be compensated for it. There's this thing that a lot of people on the left do where they'll act like it is more virtuous not to get paid. They're I'm not getting paid. And I get why people do that, because so many people on the right and capitalists are so fucking corrupt. So I get the sentiment. Yeah, it's wrong to be corrupt. It is not wrong to get paid for your labor. I could keep going, but I just think that people have been unfair to them, unfairly jumping to conclusions, unfairly demonizing them, and just not giving them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know why so many people were just jumping to the conclusion of wanting them to be villains. I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt anyway because of the important work that they do. But again, I spoke to them for a while and I did not see the evidence and the claims that all these people were making about them doing all this horrible shit. The only thing that people accused them of that was true was filling out that IC3 form for the harassment to the FBI. Now, do I think it was great that they did that? No, I'm sure there was probably maybe a better way to handle it. But then again, what do I know? I wasn't being harassed for 15 months like they were. And I'm not being unprincipled when I said that, because I never fucking said abolish the prisons, okay? I've never said ACAB. In fact, you'll find me on here regularly cheering in hopes that people like Netanyahu will eventually spend their lives in prison. And then being tepid about disclosing who their sponsor is, anyone who understands the way anyone talking about Palestine has been relentlessly attacked. They've passed laws all over the country. They've passed new laws to call anybody who supports Palestine a terrorist. So I understand why they did it. And it's not an own, you guys, that some people were harassing the people that work for Operation Olive Branch so thoroughly that they had to delete some of their comments or block them. You're oh, you're deleting comments. Yeah, because you're being psycho. It's not an own to be harassing someone like that in that way, that intensely, that they have to do that. Anyway, this is already going way too long. I was going to try to keep it under 3, and now it's already going over 4. The point is this. I'm always going to give the benefit of the doubt to people that I know are trying to do the right thing. I do not personally believe that anybody that was working with Operation Olive Branch were somehow these awful people. This is thankless fucking work, friends. Seriously, this is thankless work. I don't think any of them were doing anything with malicious intent. I'm still open to being wrong if somebody actually has some real evidence, but that is not what I've seen so far. I've seen a lot of accusations, I've seen a lot of attacks, I've seen a lot of smears, and I've seen a lot of people giddy and celebrating the idea that this organization failed. And that's really sick. That's really sick. Even if we want to hold them accountable for things or mistakes that they made, we should not want to see them fail. I think we should be practicing some of the grace we always tell people to have.